Hi, I'm Steve Wylie. I'm here with E2 TV at the E2 Social Conference in Boston. I'm joined by Jeff Shick, who is Vice President of Social Software at IBM, and he's just wrapped up his keynote address here. So Jeff, first of all, welcome and great job with your talk.
Thank you for having me here.
Sure. I wonder, if you could kind of briefly just summarize what was the main message, what was the key takeaway that you were hoping to convey to our audience today at E2?
Well, I think there were a couple points that we had hoped to make. One was that we see that social networking is driving the transformation of business processes, and the result of that is a lot of data, big data, right? And to interpret that big data, we need analytics to gain insight. So that was point number one. Mm-hmm. Point number two is it's not all about the technology. Culture has an awful lot to do with the success of an organization and the value that they derive from better connecting people with people and people with information. And so those are the two main points. And I did want to foreshadow some interesting things that we have working, where I showed a demonstration of Watson actually working with a social network providing information and answers to questions. And so that was roughly what I covered.
Right, and I think, what we're seeing is that data is playing an increasingly important role at this event, and certainly a number of the talks this week have focused in on that, including Andrew McAfee, who spoke just before you. I wonder, you're out there talking to a lot of customers. Mm-hmm. Are customers really coming up to speed with the importance data is going to play, and are they equipped to be able to embrace that opportunity?
Well, look, when I got started with the social technology back in 2006 and I started knocking on customers' doors, there would be questions like, you're the guy from social software. Is there such a thing as anti-social software? Or if we put this stuff in, are people going to goof around all day? But we've moved to the point where there's not an industry segment or a country on the planet that doesn't have a huge population of large organizations that are leveraging social to gain value, whether it be workforce optimization, product innovation, product and service innovation, or customer care and insight. With all that interaction, there's data, right? And so how do you put your arms around that really to make sense of all of that? And so I think there are organizations that are looking at that and saying, I just launched a product out on, and I want to understand what's being said about it. What is the sentiment out there as it relates to the release? So they're crawling the internet. They're using, social listening technologies to do social media monitoring and engagement and bring that back so that they have the right insight as it relates to their product launch. So I think data is growing exponentially, and people are putting their fingers on how to better manage that. But I don't think that's universal across the board. I think that's a body of work and a journey that folks are on.
Sure. And I would also say that this is no longer just an IT problem, right? I mean, I think this is just the nature of data and some of what you covered in your talk, just learning from the data and how to make better decision making for your business is a core part of the opportunity there. So is this, who are the stakeholders, I guess, in the enterprise these days beyond IT that are really playing a key role here?
Well, look, when it comes to the deployment of social capabilities to better connect people with people and people with information, the successful projects that we've been engaged on have executive sponsorship, they have stakeholders in terms of human resource, marketing, governance and compliance, the chief legal counsel, as well as the lines of business, in addition to IT. And I'll say this, probably the most successful projects sort of sound a bit like a Stevie Wonder, Paul McCartney song. LOB and IT living together in perfect harmony, side by the keyboard, and that's what a successful project comes with. Mm-hmm. That level of cooperation in an organization.
Mm-hmm. Sure, and I was glad to see that you took a part of your keynote time to, one, bring in a customer lease plan, right, as part of the talk, and to hit on something that we hear as a recurring theme here at E2 around culture. Mm-hmm. Culture being a key part of any company's success in rolling out an enterprise social strategy.
Sure.
Are companies understanding the need for organizational change, and how do you see that playing out as you're out there talking to customers? Are they embracing that? How big of a challenge is that for organizations?
I think it's a huge challenge. I think that there are organizations that fundamentally did not collaborate. There may be an organization that is in the automobile parts business, but also in the defense contractor business. And now the automobile parts organization needs to solve a problem of science that has fundamentally been solved by, the development of the new tank treads and wheel assembly. And so how they share that information and how those people, better their overall result by, coming together, recognizing they're working on a similar problem and sharing that information, bettering the result for the overall company, I think is absolutely a challenge that organizations need to embrace and is not an easy one to solve.
Okay. One thing I wanted to address as well is, just a few years ago here at this conference even, we recognized that there really was no clear leader from a vendor standpoint in the enterprise social software market. And I think IDC just recently came out again putting IBM at the top of that as the market leader in enterprise social software. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I'm very proud of the team, and I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish in the market. So thank you.
Well, that was sort of my question is what's the secret sauce? What's been the thing that has really helped to propel IBM into that role?
Well, look, I think you need to be competitive on the technology front and really make sure that you have the goods. But I think it goes way beyond that. I think that our success in market is also predicated on the fact that many organizations see IBM as a great partner. Right? We start off, I prefer the French version of this expression over the English, we drink our own champagne. I see IBM as a social business. As we share information around the planet, allow sales representatives to benefit from proposals that were created in other parts of the world. I see us as an organization that has a culture of sharing, a culture of collaboration and cooperation. And when you're working with another organization like a major bank or a government institution, being an organization that lives and breathes that is absolutely a level of credibility that you can bring to the table. And I think that that's a major part of it. It's not just the technology, it's the fact that we are a social business and we can bring that dimension to the table.
Sure. Well, congratulations again on that.
Thank you.
And my last question, you're here at the E2 conference, the largest gathering of the social software community in the world. What's your main message for them this week?
Well, look, there are a lot of great sessions at the conference. I was looking through the agenda, and there's an amazing number of speakers. There's an amazing number of client stories, and so stay in your seats, go to the sessions, and take lots of notes because the show really has a wonderful. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn.
So attend Enterprise 2 conference.
Attend the conference. Stay in your seats. A lot of good stuff being said.
Can't think of a better place to end the interview then. Thanks a lot, Jeff, for your time.
Thank you.